LAW Nation. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you all for being part of the nation. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to have more information from me, as well as the notification SWAT. There's a bell. If you're on the YouTube page, just pluck it for me, and you'll get unbelievable good luck too. With that being said, we are in a terrible time right now in this nation. We are in a hard situation, whereas a lot of times we don't know where we're going. We don't. We don't know what to feel like, you know. And I think we can utilize football or sports in general to unify this situation, although it's a very grim situation. And for those who don't know, just turn on your TV. You will see what's going on throughout this country, and the situation at hand on how bad this look, as other nations are looking at the United States of America, whereas the name at times does not unify the words or not putting things in the right places. Nevertheless, you guys got me, baby. And we may not look the same. We may not talk the same. You may not can grow facial hair. But, baby, at the end of the day, I love you. LOVE, you all, down to the deep parts of my heart, you know. And I want the best for everybody. I want everybody to live long. I want everybody to see us, you know, be successful. The smaller things in life. I recall liking the fact that when my daughter was able to walk, you know, that was a wonderful experience for me. And I want you guys to have the same, whether it be, you know, I never forget when my daughter say, "Dad, I got to go potty." And when she's able to be that by herself, you know, that's amazing. That's an amazing thing. So I want everybody, although we look different, we still have the same goals, if that make any sense, right? Let me give a shout out to those that's in the chat box. I really appreciate you all. Who's this over here? The first person, T Smooth TV. Woo! Shout out to you, man. One of the first people that's over here, Joseph Ventura. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much for being part of this thing. Lance Bell. Yes. Shout out to you. Who else we have? Regina. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. Cindy. You know I love you, Cindy. Really appreciate you as well. Don't forget about this. The phone lines will be open today. The phone lines, we will be talking about what's going on in this world, what's going on in his mind, what's going on with the Cowboys, what should we do with the Dak Prescott situation. It's not like it's going to come out of our pockets, right? At the end of the day, this bag, we're not going to give it to him, right? The Cowboys are not going to give it to him as it relates to our pockets, you know. We only want the Cowboys to be successful because of the things that we root for, right? Because of the things that we want to see as it relates to the Dallas Cowboys being I guess a staple piece. Some people want to do it, and some people want to see it for the simple fact that their father might have rooted for the Cowboys, or that their mom might have rooted for the Cowboys, or some people want the Cowboys to win because they want to have bragging rights, right? They want to walk around and say, hey, this is the reason why I root for this team, because in the 70s or in the 90s or in the early 2000s or mid 2000s, this was the team that I rooted for, and these sort of things. Nevertheless, football is an ultimate. Let me repeat, an ultimate team sport. Is not one individual that brings the team to win. But I do know that people will look at it only on one side of the coin and say, well, yes, it is law. You know, it's one person that makes this team go. Nevertheless, let's tune in to 105.3 The Fan.
If Todd France thinks he's going to get near that.
Let me see.
And Dak Prescott. Good morning, Metroplex. Sean and RJ on your home of America's team. And on the line right now, radio.com sports NFL insider Michael Lombardi. Insider calls are brought to you by the Dell Technologies Small Business Podfirst podcast series, available on radio.com/Dell. Michael, well, I'll ask you that question to start off. Was yesterday's news that Mahomes is negotiating with the Chiefs bad news for Jerry and Stephen Jones?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, look, let's face it. Everybody knows Patrick Mahomes is going to be the highest paid player in the National Football League. He's going to set the bar. And if Todd France thinks he's going to get near that bar, he's going to wait a long time. And so I think the Deshaun Watson contract is also in play here. I think what's going on is it's a trifecta, right? So you've got Mahomes needs a deal. Watson's going to get a new deal. They all have different agents. And the agents play the competitive game as well, right? They don't want to do a deal. Todd Francis want to do a deal for Dak Prescott that 2 weeks later looks a lot less than the deal he just did. So there's a little bit of that in play.
Yeah, before we go into more details of everything, we know that when you start talking about contracts in general, contracts are always a fickle process. One can argue and say, well, Dak Prescott, he can't hold a candle to Pat Mahomes, right? And the other person can say, well, if you look at the stats and the statistics of everything, basically Dak Prescott's stats are a little bit better than Deshaun Watson at least. So there's the where could we find that middle ground? And everybody know when you throw dirt, you lose your ground, right? You lose your stance. So earlier this week, I think the first fake and the undisputed, all those talking heads had something to say. Well, Jerry Wayne is mad at Dak Prescott camp. Let me repeat this right quick. Jerry is in the business of building, not just the Dallas Cowboys. But if you look around, if you so happen to come down here and just start in Frisco, just drive up to Frisco. Somebody once told me, because I'm not from Dallas, I'm not from Texas, I'm from Mississippi. Somebody told me, and let me know in the chat, because I want to know you guys' thoughts on this, because I'm not a Texas native. Although I root for Texas real hard, you know what I'm saying? Somebody told me about 15 years ago, Plano was just like a speck on a map. Can somebody confirm that to me? Somebody told me 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, people didn't even know Plano exists almost. The Frisco area, none of that place, none of those areas was really prominent. It might have had some trees in here and things like that, but it didn't look like it is today. Can somebody confirm to me, you know, if that was the situation, if that was the scenario out there in Plano land? Let me know. Let me know, because I'm not from this area. I'm not from Dallas, and I'm not from the Plano area. I'm not from Addison and all of those areas up north, and Allen, Texas, and all of those things. So, true, Plano was nothing. This is just a big loser. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, man, for putting that out there. And let me see who else on my Facebook panel, man. Really appreciate you, Javier. I think that's how you say your name. True. Okay. So Plano was a cow pasture. Okay. This is from Stephen Barber. So Jerry Jones is about building. When he's gone, you know, when he's dead and gone, you know, his legacy will live forever. And hopefully it's no time soon, you know. Don't want to speak ill will on one of the greatest owners of all time. But what I'm trying to lament to everybody is this right here. Jerry thinks 5-10 years ahead of most people. Jerry is building, and the media is trying to grab hold to what he's thinking. And that is where we're going from here. If you look at the title of this episode, it says, "Where do we go from here?" Jerry looks at Dak Prescott as if he is his son. You know what I'm saying? He said that. I love him like he's my son. Matter of fact, I put him up there in the family. But he's still a salesman at heart. You know, at heart. You got to say it like that. So what I'm trying to say to everybody is that, yes, it looks murky. Yes, it looks crazy. Yes, the love affair for Tony Romo will always be in the air. And yes, the love affair for Jason Garrett will always be in the air. Nevertheless, this contract situation is what it is. Trust me, they probably already met up with each other and said, you know what, I got the deal for you, but can we stretch this thing out? Remember a couple of weeks ago, I said, did you guys watch that movie Money Talk? Of Chris Tucker played in that movie, and Charlie Sheen played in that movie. And Chris Tucker supposedly got caught up with some bad stuff, and he got arrested, what have you. But they just so happened to put him in the same room with this mafia guy, whatever, And to make a long story short, they broke out of this prison cell or what have you, broke out for this bus trip to another prison, and he was attached to one another. This is the long end of the movie because it's a really good movie, Money Talk, They don't make movies like that anymore. Some good, wholesome movies where you got the, good versus the bad, and, it's a story of a different day. Nevertheless, what happened was Charlie Sheen, he broke him free, and then he got up with Charlie Sheen, and Charlie Sheen was like, he was at the bad end of the news cycle, and he wanted to preserve him to that Monday, opposed to turning Chris Tucker in, whatever his name was in the movie there, in on that Friday. So he had to spend a weekend with Charlie Sheen. This seems like a similar situation, whereas they trying to wait for a grand opening. They trying to wait for the deal or the worst part of the news in order to get this stuff out. And Law, do you have any reference on that? Do you have any historical data on that? Oh, what happened to D-Law's contract? How long was that drawn out? Oh, didn't your boy had to go through the same thing, Ezekiel Elliott, for them to ultimately pay him anyway? Couldn't they pay him before he was having all of this combo land stuff going on? Didn't Jerry Wayne Jones himself sold Zeke Who t-shirts? Y'all let me know. The people that's crying about this, Jerry Jones made more money off of Zeke Who t-shirts than probably you made in your entire life. That's the craziest thing of it all.
Michael, is there a point here where the Cowboys say, you know what, Dak, enough is enough? We've tried to offer you 35. Maybe we're offering you 37. But if this thing gets into the 40s, you're not that good. You're not a great or elite quarterback. I know we need a quarterback, but we may just have to say goodbye. Is there a point where that happens, Mike?
Well, I think it is. And I think here you have to kind of ponder this a little bit. So we're going to have football this year, we hope, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to have fans. I wrote about this for The Athletic today, and I think this affects Dak Prescott tremendously.
Well, let me pause him right quick because he said we are not going to have fans. For those who out there, they're looting right now. They're ripping down, they're tearing down. The organizations are massively worrying about how can we get back to our good graces. Look, this is down here in Deep Ellum. They just ramshacked that entire area. Now, this is, of course, because of another reason, but I have to bring to attention for those who thinking that there's going to be a football game. Whereas fans, the crazed fans that we are throughout the entire United States of America, they think that people are just going to sit back and not get into that game, not march and go through those stadium doors to see their team play. Come on, man. I got another thing to sell to you. And there's a moon made of cheese. I got land. I'm talking about prime real estate land in Florida. If you believe that 110,000 people or whoever that goes to these games out here in Dallas, out there in Arlington, if a Dallas Cowboys playing whoever, the 49ers per se, you think that we just going to sit back and say, okay, we're just going to watch the game on TV when you see and you can hear the noise going on at the football game? Let me know if I'm lying, Cowboy Nation. Let me know if I'm lying, because I believe that people will still find ways to bombard and get into those games, regardless of how you think of it. And I don't think that the policing will have the gumption to be able to withstand 110,000 people. Arlington itself, when you go down there to Arlington, just to be real with you guys, it's the city itself can't really obtain all of the people that's there. Can you imagine 110 people tailgating? Now, Jerry is a wonderful salesman, but I have to say this: Arlington, I'm not from the area, but I can tell you the people that's from Arlington, they hate and they can't stand those high taxes out there. Oh my goodness, property taxes are off the roof. And you bring in all of the traffic because you got Six Flags out there. You got you got a baseball stadium out there. You got a baseball team that's out there collectively speaking. And you have the Dallas Cowboys. It's a mess out there. Let me know if I'm lying. Let me know. Have you ever got stuck out there in Arlington? It's been times where the game is at 3 o'clock. You can try to leave and you won't be at home until 11. It's time where you can just sit there and say, the game out here in Arlington, I'm just going to chill and just stay at Texas Live because it's just crazy for me to try to get all the way up north to Plano or me to get all the way up north to Allen because it's the traffic situation. And don't let somebody get into a fender bender.
I think it affects every team tremendously. So we're not going to have fans. The owners are saying that could be a $500 million loss to them. Now, the owners are not acting in this game alone. They're partners with the players. So the cap next year could easily be $25, $30 million less than it is currently right now because we're going to have to take the $500 million revenue that's not coming in out. So how does that work? How is that going to work? How is that going to play to these cap numbers? The Cowboys, if you look at next year's cap, they have $35 million available to them right now. And if the cap goes down, that becomes a problem. So there's a lot of teams that have to really weigh their odds, weigh what they're doing, and see how it actually plays out. Because at the end of the day, the cap will go down next year. No one's talking about it, but it will.
Does another team, other than the Cowboys, if Dak Prescott hits free agency, do you think someone pays him $37 to $40 million, or do you think we value him more here with the Cowboys than other markets and other cities?
Well, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you a question first. Would you trade Dak Prescott for Russell Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, Russell Wilson's at 35. Why am I going to pay Dak more than Russell Wilson? I mean, why would I do that? I mean, Todd France is playing the game that he knows he's getting more money. He knows his player isn't in the same conversation as Watson and Mahomes. He knows this. But yet he can get his leverage up by being in the conversation, by pretending he's in there. He's not better than Russell Wilson. You would not. There's no way. Seattle would hang up the phone and say, no way. So the reality of it is he's benefiting by the market. And if the market next year goes down by the cap number, then all of a sudden people's appetite to pay Dak Prescott $40 million become a lot less because they've got cap concerns.
All right, so I got to pause them right quick on this right here. Dak Prescott versus a Russell Wilson is subjective. And I know that a lot of people will say, nah, Law, Russell Wilson got him a Super Bowl ring. Are you comparing today's Dak to today's Russell, or are you comparing the same growth patterns of a Russell Wilson to a Dak Prescott? And I know I'm going to get a lot of hate mail. Nevertheless, if we were to go back into time, if there was a certain time capsule that we can go back to, and I show you guys line by line Dak Prescott versus a Russell for the first 3 years, what if I told you, like Ripley's Believe It or Not, that Dak Prescott stats trump a Russell Wilson? And in light of that, Russell Wilson had the Legion of Boom. If you were to just insert Dak Prescott into the Legion of Boom era, would the Seattle Seahawks, would have still won a Super Bowl? Let me know. I'm eager to know your thoughts. I'm eager to know your opinions on this. I know that a lot of people are going to only say, well, Law, you speaking from the ramifications of Cowboys land or from Cowboys mind. But no, I'm speaking from this right here, is that we had Jason Garrett. You got to spread out the Jason Garrett. But they had another coach who's more proven than a Jason Garrett. And on top of that, Dak Prescott stats trumps the Russell Wilsons of the world. Now, I do know that Russell himself is a very methodical, goes through his progressions right, got a quick release of the ball or what have you. Sometimes he may have to get out on the roll or what have you. But I just look at it like both guys are star and dynamic. But I think that Dak Prescott, from the curve aspect, have a faster learning curve than a Russell Wilson. Let me read some of your comments, because I know a lot of people would be like, nah, dog, that's Russell, man. That's Russell. And I can pull up I can go to Pro Football Reference, and I can pull up the side-by-side, but sometimes people will still say water is not wet. The water can be all over them, and they say, nah, dog, it's still the Sahara Desert out here, man. You're not spitting facts at this. You lying to kick it, Law. But you know how it goes with us, and I love you guys, man. Yes, they would have still won. Think about it. Dak Prescott, beast mode, the Legion of Boom or what have you. It would have been crazy. And on top of that, Russell is good and all, but Dak is bigger, physical. Oh, my goodness. But I know people going to be like, nah, dog. A lot of things that can pull that apart would be, I think, in 2015. Hear me out. And I know I'm long-winded. I know a lot of people say, Law, you be long-winded, get to the point, baby. But just let it marinate. This is good stuff. It's marinating on your soul, your heart, and your sinew. Think about this. In 2015, the Dallas Cowboys versus the Seattle Seahawks. Google that score. Let me know what Russell Wilson did to that particular defense, to that particular team, when we didn't even have a Tony Romo. I mean, we had that game? Who started that game? Was it Brandon Weeden, or was that the Matt Council administration that game? I mean, he won by the chin of his hair. The hair on the chinny chin. I mean, people were like, man, put Sierra out there, man. I think that she can 1-2 step better than him. Let me know if I'm wrong. Put up, I know you guys got Google, but can you pull up the Google and tell me what was their score in 2015, if you know what I mean? Let's listen to more of my guy, Michael Lombardi. Not to get confused of Bach Lombardi, but this is Michael Lombardi,
But, Michael, unfortunately, and I agree with you, I've been against, the Dak versus Russell comparisons. But, unfortunately, that isn't the way it works in the NFL, right? At quarterback, it's next man up. It's you don't have an option to replace me, so you're going to pay me what I want you to pay me. Dak has all the leverage here.
Well, you could say that, but that's not how you run a team. I mean, let's face it, Dak may have the leverage, but, Jared Goff, why would you overpay him? When you overpay a player, it costs you other areas. And what I'm saying is, as the storm brews outside because of this cap, because of the salary cap issues next year, because of the virus, you've got to be really careful about what you're thinking about doing in the long term, or you're going to be in cap jail, much like the Los Angeles Rams are right now.
Michael Lombardi, Radio.com, NFL Insider, joining us here on 105 through the Fan. I understand what you're saying about the cap potentially going down, but let's just say it continues to go up every year by the $10 million that it's gone up. At that point, doesn't it become?
You can't say that. You can't say that. There's nobody going to be in the. There's going to be lost revenue. Every league is. We can't live in that dream world. Every league is going to lose revenue. Beer sales, ticket sales, suite sales. That's lost revenue, and it's going. And when you're a partner with somebody.
But let me tell you this, though. The TV revenue is money up front. The TV revenue, they pay for those pockets of time up front. So that's the corrections there. When you collectively look at it from the stadium, or stadium, is how my dog said, Jerry Wayne, it's not as much as the TV revenue. The TV revenue is where the money, where the coins are at. And last I checked, Amazon, they are willing to put into this TV deal. And last I checked, Amazon, they just making hands over fists. In this economy, due to the COVID and all of these things, they increased their revenue. They was making money, hands over fists, and on top of that, hey, that guy's just blessed. Just to come up with that type of brilliant idea, not knowing that this, I guess, pandemic would happen, and it never slowed down his business. Look, I don't know about you all. I'm thinking about a economy-proof business myself. I'm thinking it. I'm just trying to figure out ways where when all stuff turns from, to sugar to you know what, I'm trying to figure out how can I still increase my bottom line. And by Amazon reaching in and buying some of this NFL, they did a piece of it, but they finna get all the way in on this new TV deal. And Amazon is everywhere. I can see people now saying, hey, I'll order my Amazon TV now, and it automatically comes with a package program of the documentaries of all of the Dallas Cowboys, as well as I get a chance from wherever I'm at to watch the Dallas Cowboys game from my Amazon account. That is going to be something next level. That just want to put that out there.
You share in lost revenue.
Look, I understand what you're saying, but eventually, over the term of the fourth year of a 4-year deal, it may go down 1 year, but it'll go up for the other 3, right?
There you go.
Theoretically,
it certainly has a chance to recover, but I don't think the recovery is going to be an arrow up. I don't think it's going to be a V. I think the recovery is going to be more like a U. It's going to take a little bit of time until we get a vaccine, until we get some form of testing to where we feel really comfortable. We know this from Italy, that stadiums are melting pots for this to develop, that we realize that. And so the more people we put into a stadium, the more risk we have if we don't have a vaccine, if we don't have a treatment.
Michael, as a former GM, what's the bigger fear? Paying someone like Dak too much money or not having a quarterback of Dak's caliber and going with something worse?
Well, I think that to me, and I've said this many times, I would have paid Sean McVay $25 million before I paid Jared Goff $35. You got to have somebody who can develop a quarterback. You got to have somebody who can develop a quarterback. And we'll see if the Patriots can do that this year with Jarrett Stidham. We'll see if the Patriots can develop a quarterback and be able to win football games with the guy they picked in the 4th round. I think that's the essence of the game. You can't pay everybody $50 million. Look, Mahomes is going to get his number. How far over 35, that remains to be seen. Does he go to 40? Does he go to 42? Does he go to 43? I don't know. The same thing with Deshaun Watson. But you've got to there's got to be a point where you say, you know what, as an organization, we're going to have to find another solution. And it happens. I mean, look, it's there. We see it all the time. People have a hard time evaluating quarterbacks. The worst thing you can do in any sport is become prisoner to one player, and then you lose your team. Because at the end of the day, Dak needs a lot of help around him to be a great player.
If Dak is an elite quarterback or borderline elite, though, is there such a thing as overpay?
All right, so Dak needs help. I wonder. I ain't talking about Stephen Wonder. I wonder what would Pat Mahomes look like in that Super Bowl without a Travis Kelce, without a Tyreek Hill, a Nico Hartman. How do you say that man's name? Oh, I wonder if that running back didn't put up those numbers and it was just Pat Mahomes. I wonder, would he still be hosting that Lombardi Trophy? Would he still be able to say, hey, I'm a Super Bowl champion? I wonder what Joe Montana would have looked like without a Jerry Rice, a Ronnie Lott, a Roger Craig. I want to know. I want to know what Troy, the main man, Aikman, would have looked like without a Jay Novacek. Oh, I wonder what he looked like without a Michael Irvin. Y'all see the pattern where I'm going? Oh, John Elway, one of the greatest throwers of the ball. I want to know, Cowboy Nation, would he won those Super Bowls without a TD? Let me know. Can you guys stand on a podium and say, or a high pedestal and say, hey, with great convictions or the courage of the convictions of my heart that John Elway would have won those Super Bowls? Now, there's a misconception that people are out here, or the let me see, how can I put this, that teams are winning Super Bowls by themselves if just one person is winning the Super Bowl. I mean, come on now. And on top of that, when we talk about this contract talk, and I know a lot of people are fed up with this contract talk. It's like the Dak Daily, the Dak Chronicles. Somebody told me that I should name it the Dak Night Chronicles. nevertheless, I just want to know those things. Like, who was the last quarterback that played by himself and won the Super Bowl ultimately by himself? It was just him. Nobody else. Is a team full of scrubs. He just walked out there and said, hey, I'm the quarterback of the team. All you guys, y'all can just go to the shoot program, play in Pelican Bay, because I'm the end-all be-all. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. Let me know of that particular quarterback, and I will hush. I was just flat out hush. Just name him. Put a name in the comment box. Please help a brother out, because I'm looking for that answer. I'm looking for that solution there, because I need to find out. I flat out need to find out. What's up with you, Montana? Thank you for tuning in. Chris, what's good with you? Lance Bell. Elway, oh my goodness, Elway did anything without TD, and that defense was nobody to sneeze at as well. I'm reading for the comments, man. And of course you got to include the coaching, and for anybody that would utter the words Tom Brady, oh my goodness, all you got to do is go watch the first 3 Super Bowls. And to me personally, the first one, he had no reasons being there, because I think it should have been the Raiders, but that's a story of a different day. On top of that, the tape gate situation, we knew that they filmed every inch of that, of who they played. Was it the greatest show on turf they played in that Super Bowl? The greatest show on turf? And they filmed everything. Oh, Lord, it don't mean anything because da-da-da-da. Look, if you look at their particular offense, and I know this is Tom Brady. I know he got 6 of them, but I got to contextualize it, because I can't just leave it there, because people are going to say, well, Lord, you're not bringing in the full storyline of it. The greatest show on turf was a timing offense. Let me repeat. The greatest show on turf was a timing offense, meaning that a person was going to be at that mark at a certain time, and Kurt Warner is going to get that ball out to that particular mark. It's going to get out fast. But if you have tape on that situation, if you know the good details of it, you can just sit your linebacker right on that spot. And last I checked, shout out to Ty Law and all of those boys that played for the Patriots. That defense was nobody to sneeze at. So it's kind of like you finna fight Mike Tyson, and he got the upper hand because he knows your move. And it's not the fact that Mike Tyson is slow or anything. Mike Tyson is a beast within himself. It's like that. And we don't know without a shadow of a doubt that with the other informations that Bill Belichick had on these other teams, we don't know what they done had on them. All we knew is that the NFL decided to say, hey, we just going to burn the tapes. Wouldn't it have been wise and smart to show the teams that Bill Belichick got the information from to let them see the tape too? It goes all the way back to another movie, man. You guys is Saturday. You got nothing else to do instead of being out there in the streets worried about getting hit upside the head with a rock or getting arrested by police and chased down or what have you. Just chill with me right quick. There's another movie, Enemy of the State. You guys remember that movie? Gene Hackman, boy, he was good in that movie. Oh my goodness, Will Smith. He was great in that movie as well. I mean, it was in the elevator, and Gene Hackman told him, either you're incredibly smart or you're incredibly stupid. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the greatest lines on that movie. But the whole movie was by the tape. The opposition, the opposing, the government, dare I say, didn't know what was on the tape. So they derail Will Smith's entire life just so they can see what was on the tape. Come to find out, it was some political stuff that a bird guy was watching, surveying the land or what have you, captured a executional style of a political agenda on the tape. Will Smith never knew what was on the tape. So it was a good movie, Enemy of the State. I think that's the name of the movie, man. Y'all check that movie out. It's an oldie but goodie. And that is what I'm trying to say to everybody. Nobody knew what was on the tape that the Patriots had. And on top of that, the Patriots, the first 3 Super Bowls, it's not like they blown out anybody. It was kind of like what? Field goal here, the field goal there, a quarterback throwing up in the locker room or throwing up on the field against the 2004. It was the Eagles versus the Patriots. That's a story of a different day, but y'all listen to it.
Paying Patrick Mahomes.
No, there's not. I think you're right. You can't overpay greatness, but at some point you have to understand that you can't have all the money. You can't have all the money. I mean, Peyton Manning, when he went through, he took a lot of the money. They had a lot of players on the team, but their depth. I mean, how many Super Bowls did they win in Indianapolis?
One.
One, right. Why did that? Well, they say, Phil Bowley will say because the rules, it limited, he couldn't, the receivers were getting jammed. Their depth on defense was always problematic. They had 5 or 6 really good players, but at the end of the day, football's a team sport. It's a game of having depth. You've got to be able to have depth, and if you don't have any depth, and you don't have the ability to play with 40 guys that can help you win, it's hard to do. You can't be too young. You can't have a bunch of rookies on your team. You do need a middle class in the NFL.
Do you put Dak in the category of good, very good, potentially great? What is your category for Dak?
I've always felt Dak's really a good player. I think he's a very good player. I think they utilize his foot movement. I think they've got to do that. I think he's a great, tough guy. I think he plays hurt. I think this whole nonsense about signing Andy Dalton as an insult to Dak Prescott is completely one of the biggest jokes in media I've ever heard in my life. They signed Andy Dalton because Kellen Moore can't play. They signed Andy Dalton because last year when they went to Philadelphia and Dak was hurt and probably shouldn't have played, they lost a game that could have got them into the playoffs when they could have been a better team. They signed Andy Dalton for the franchise, not as an insult to Dak. It's almost ridiculous that anybody would suggest the other words.
Michael Lombardi, former NFL GM, right here on the home of the Cowboys, 105.3 The Fan. Who right now today would be your favorite in the division, Mike? Who would you like in the NFC East?
I like the Cowboys a lot. I think Mike McCarthy. Look, the Cowboys were 31st in the National Football League with the clapper in terms of winning close games. They could not win a close game. It's been the history of it since Jason was the head coach there. So that's been a problem. Secondly, when you go back and look at the special teams and the lack of attention to detail within the kicking game, people dismiss the kicking game like it's meaningless. Only the greatest coach of all time in New England thinks it's the most important. Something's wrong with this pitcher. They were 31st in most every single category in terms of special teams last year. I think John Fossil will make a huge upgrade over what they do. They've got 3 magnificent receivers that they put out on the field. I think Dak's a really good player. They got one of the best players in the backfield in Zeke Elliott, and their offensive line's good. I think the key to their team is Jim Tomasula. I think Tomasula, the defensive line coach, will make a huge difference. I think Randy Gregory, when he comes back, or Alden Smith, or any of the defensive linemen that they've signed, whether it's McCoy, whomever, I think he's going to make a huge difference because when you watch his Washington Redskins defensive front, or you watch what he did when he was in San Francisco, this guy gets the most out of players in the defensive line. And I think when you watch the Cowboys last year, whenever they could play less than 30 minutes of defense, they were really a good defense. When they had to play more, it became a problem. And I think if they tie those loose ends together, I think McCarthy takes a lot of crap for being too conservative on offense, but yet no one really understands what he was dealing with in Green Bay. I think the Cowboys are the best team in the East.
My goodness. Well, hey, what a wonderful insight right there. All right, so when we think about this and we start talking about the defensive side transition, because I know a lot of people definitely are tired of us talking about the Dak Prescott squabble and the Dak Prescott situation. I agree. Tom Sula, when I looked at the film, when I looked at the Redskins, when I looked at the early becomings of the 49ers front four, what have you, he does play with or coach up to this team max potentials. And I have to look at not the collective record, but the individual talent. We're heading into the right direction. I think that we're having a great situation of looking back. And I do know it's like hindsight is 20/20. Nevertheless, but when we look back at this thing and we'll say, yeah, special teams play terrible. Now we went and got a John Fossil or Bones Fossil. Front four wasn't creative. We went back and got some help out there. What I did when I posted on my Instagram, let me see, a couple days ago, a little quick insert of how DeMarcus Ware was talking about this. Let's listen to it.
Where do you think we'll see the biggest changes or philosophical changes from what the Cowboys did with Marinelli the last few years?
Yeah, I played with Rob Marinelli in his 4-3 defense, and it's 4 guys, 3 linebackers, corners. It's more about coverage and the 4 guys getting to the quarterback. But now you got a whole new person coming in, and the 3-4 defense is all predicated on getting pressure, pushing the pocket up the middle, stopping the run, bringing the outside linebackers to create those turnovers. That's why with DeMarcus Lawrence and Alvin Smith and Randy Gregory, they can excel in this defense because you might get a tight end. You might have this, be on a running back because there's 5 guys rushing now instead of 4, but they can interchange each one of those guys, and that's what makes it hard on those offenses because they can't block you. So I think that with this hybrid type defense and talking to DeMarcus Lawrence, and he's ready to, hey, DeMarcus, can you maybe come by and show me how to stand up? Hey, that made me smile.
He said that made him smile. And my thing is, when we look at it, I got to say there's one more piece about the Dak Prescott situation before I go dive all the way in on the defensive side of the ball. Get ready. I'm going to have the phone lines open in a few. 682-214-4087 is the phone line. It's the phone number. Just give me a call. But for right now, it's not open yet, but get ready. You can shoot me a text at any time, though. My thing is with this. When you think about the Dallas Cowboys front four, and when you think about what is on the table for Dak Prescott, last I check on the offensive side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball, the Dallas Cowboys linebackers, the Dallas Cowboys safety play, or the kicker, who else do we have to pay? Let me know. Who else do we have to pay right now? I think that this Dak Prescott angle, like I said earlier, Jerry done already got the deal already signed. They're just going to wait to announce it a couple of days before the deadline or right there on the deadline. I think that's what's going on because everybody else, who else do we have to sign? Because if we are in play of the Jadeveon Clowney, that would be a different story, right? If we at play, who else is out there? Ryan Logan. I think that I like his skill set. Oh, we heard about the Jamal Adams news here and there. But I think that ship done sail. I think that the Jets will wait until like the season start off. And if they start off 0-2 or 0-3, what have you, then they will put the trade block out there. That's what I stand at on that, Yes, indeed. So that's how I look at it, man. Mr. Wright, man, really appreciate you so much for tuning in and making that donation. Let the AI speak, if she will.
Law Nation Puffy, what's good? Doc get paid, can't get mad at to me, the QB position. The most dependent position in the NFL to me, so we have to keep an eye on the players around that make this thing work as well.
Yeah, keep the players around that make it work as well. Shout out to you, Mr. Wright, man. Really appreciate you so much for making the donations to help grow the nation. I do feel what you're saying. The quarterback, that's my quarterback, is the person that we really have to really pay a close attention to. But as I lamented earlier, there are nobody else we have to pay. Maybe down the line we have to pay a Michael Gallup. Maybe down the line we will have to pay who else? Who else contract is kind of up that's been doing things? All of those DBs, Xavier Woods, Jordan, Hip Pocket Lewis, Cheeto Woozier. This is a prove-it year. They're going to have to show up and be ready. But if you look at the comparisons analysis of what Dak Prescott did during this time parameter or time frame, and collectively what a Xavier Woods or a Cheeto Awuzie or Jordan Lewis did, is not the same. It's not like Xavier Woods been like, hey, man, we got to hurry and pay this brother. Like we having a little ramblings about with Michael Gallup. And just wait, Cowboy Nation. Just wait. People are going to start throwing hate at Michael Gallup. It's right around the corner. It's right around the corner. For real, for real. And I hate to say that, but it's just how the nature of the Dallas Cowboys are. Then people are going to say, hey, man, he got too many drops. He's not worth that type of money. He's not worth that's when people are going to throw this around. He's not worth what's the kid that played over there in the Browns land? What's this guy name? I call him Odella. That's his name? Odell Beckham. Yeah. Shout out to Odell Beckham. He's not worth Odell Beckham's money. That's coming around. The phone lines are now open. 682-214-4087 is the phone line for your mind. I think that this defense, and we're going to talk defense. You don't have to talk about the quarterback groove, but we're going to talk defense, if that's okay with you all. Dak Prescott contract is $33 million. This is from Jonathan Durbin. We'll find out. 409. What's on your mind? You're live on the Nation.
We live, Law?
Yes. What's good, man? Talk to me.
All right, man. Just expounding on what you're talking about with the whole Dak Prescott contract situation and no one else left to pay. You're in a perfect situation at wide receiver because you have Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb's contract going parallel 5 years. And so in 5 years, when, Cooper's up and kind of old, you're not really subject to have to pay him number one money. And then CeeDee Lamb is going to be your main focus. Shifting over, you have Zeke's contract, who you can get out of in 2 years if you wanted to, but that's if he drops in production level, which he's been highly, productive, contrary to popular belief. Some guys' breakout year is Zeke's lowest year. You're talking about a guy who's been running 80. His lowest year was 89, yards, a game.
Right.
That's foolish to think that he's going to keep running for 100 yards, a season. And the way, contracts are set up, unfortunately, you just got to pay guys for what they've done in the past. Those guys got to get compensated for what they've done. Doesn't make sense, but that's the way you have the contract and CBA set up, owners. So you got to live with that. But at the end of the day, you don't have anyone else to pay. You might have Van Der Esch and Gallup coming up. Gallup can arguably be someone you can replace, with coming drafts. Same in Van Der Esch's boat. Those are guys that you're not obligated, and you can also replace and maybe get a better prospect. Not to diminish from what they.
The Van Der Esch situation is unique because he would have a 5-year option, and he only had one good year basically so far. And we will see. Now, this could be a breakout year for him again because now it's his third year. Normally, the third year is always the key year because that's when everything starts to slow down for you and you get accustomed to the NFL life. But go ahead.
And then you're talking about not paying Dak Prescott when we paid Tony Romo with a bad back.
Yeah. Now,
like guys like Tyron Smith coming up, Dez Bryant in his prime. We had to let go of DeMarco Murray. And in Dak Prescott's situation, you're not having to forfeit any talent. Your talent is already intact and in place. And then by the time, Dak Prescott gets in two, 3 more years under his belt, you don't need to have the greatest offensive line blocking in front of him. You can get you some second and third round picks like your Tyler Badass and your Connor McGovern, and you keep that kind of trains rolling and keep addressing that situation. Address your trenches as they've been doing the past couple drafts. Defensively, they've been trying. They've just been missing. They've been trying with the second round picks, the first round picks, the Greg Hardys of the world. They've been trying. Unfortunately, that's just a position that the greatest who do it, they usually have top 10 picks across the line.
Well, let me stretch your mind on this one right quick. And
Okay.
you said well, we didn't pay DeMarco Murray and he was what, 26 at the time?
Yeah.
26. I
And he
think
had,
I think he was going right into his prime. I think he was heading right into his prime, and the
he
reason
had the
why I say
Adidas
that,
ad, the Men's Warehouse ad.
yeah, we didn't want to pay him, right? So what happened in that 2015 year? What if I told you, like ESPN 30 for 30? What if
Right.
I told you that DeMarco Murray, if we were to pay him and he were to stay on his team,
You would
Tony
have Jalen
Romo would have
Ramsey.
never got injured or what have you, because Julius Randle, whatever, what's his name? What's his name was? John Randle? What's his name? Joseph Randle?
Oh yeah. Joseph Randle.
Joseph Randle. I mean, he's not a great blocker. You know, he whiffed on his block. Hicks came in free, and the quarterback was grass. I think that DeMarco Murray and the chemistry that they had from 2014 would have still been intact. I think that we would have had the momentum. We wouldn't have had, do you pay it? Because remember, all of that offseason, do you pay a running back? Stephen Jones got out there and started bumping his gum. And then Randall was saying there's a lot of meat on the bone. You know, he said there's a lot of meat on the bone. And that situation soiled or sullied the team chemistry. I'm just thinking outside of the box. And I know it's trying to put toothpaste back in the tube, but wouldn't the Cowboys been in better shape if they were to go ahead and pay DeMarco Murray in 2015?
I think hindsight, we would have played him different. We wouldn't have played him like the Eagles, definitely. And then he did have that, productive year with Tennessee. So if you would have paid him, you probably would have got that same production back. And the continuity and chemistry is important. So it would have been better for 2015, but of course, you maybe don't get Dak Prescott. You maybe don't get Ezekiel Elliott.
True.
We probably go ahead and go with Jalen Ramsey, or we maybe not get that fourth pick.
Right. You definitely not going to go with that
satisfied.
record. Yeah, 4 and whatever we went. Yeah.
I guess I'm overall satisfied with how everything went down.
Went down.
And, I think that's changed my perspective as to how not to really worry about guys when their time is up, or just to only look at paying those elite guys. And I think the Cowboys have done pretty good. At time with DeMarcus Lawrence, you don't have too many defensive linemen who can do what he does, not just pass rushing wise or just playing the run. In general, he's a great player. So you got to pay these type of guys, and you're gonna overpay in the NFL at all times. I mean, even kickers get overpaid. Just at the mercy of, if you're a team who's in need of a kicker and there's not a great market for it, and you're gonna call your shot either way it goes. So I think the money situation, we're just in a different situation than in the past. People want to panic about the salary cap. We're in a different situation. We have cap money.
True.
We're not inquiring dead money. We're not rolling guys' contract back and back and back. Which in that situation, when you roll money back, I feel like relative to the cap, you just keep it at a fair pay versus having this profit. Because Stephen Jones tries to talk about how contract wise, the Cowboys aren't trying to save money so the Jones family can pocket put in their personal pocket, but they're putting it in their personal salary cap pocket. And they can afford to pay these guys. It's just that the Cowboys are just addicted to having value, I guess. It's like having a piggy bank where you just like to look at all the savings you built. And I don't know if that's just kind of PTSD from just the cap hell they were in, that they feel like they just got to have value and just sit there and just look at it and be like, look how much we're saving now. But they can definitely maybe better start managing the cap and, stop flip-flopping, stop not signing free agents. Like, you just look at the trends of the past of not want to invest first-round picks in offensive linemen, thinking they didn't need a Dez Bryant talent at wide receiver, just always trying to get value.
Yeah, the value part of it. I'm going to say this before I let you go. The Minnesota Vikings will be a team that I'm going to really look at, because Before the start of the, I guess at the end of the year, they was a negative $4 million. That meaning that they owed the cap, so they had to get above the cap. And we know that they had some people that they let go or what have you. Nevertheless, I'm going to take a real good look at their infrastructure, and I'm going to see how they're going to manage that particular situation because they don't have a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah,
and
so
like I say, they've done well in saving. The Cowboys, like Stephen Jones, he's done well in being frugal and building that cap money and getting us out of that. Like dead money from Dez Bryant and Tony Romo's contract type of thing. But at the same time, you got to sign your quarterback right now.
True. I agree 1,000,000% on that one.
But all right, Law, I'm gonna just go hang up and go ahead and keep listening, man, and appreciate everything y'all do. Man. Skywalker, big game, just big ups, man.
Appreciate you, man, for tuning in. Salute, bro.
All right. Yes, salute.
A good call from him, man. Hey, and trust me, we all don't think alike. We have different opinion, different thoughts, and things like that. But I love to get people thoughts on this matter. Call in. Give me a call. 682-214-4087 is the number. To call in to speak your mind, get stuff off your chest. It could be anything you want to talk about. I'm here. We all open ears. And let's get it done. This is Sparta! Yeah, the man deserves a war call. So when we think about this team in general, yes, we always talk about the money. We always talk about the value. We always talk about this too. Holding on players to so long that you don't get nothing in return. We let them walk off scot-free. My thing is, if, and I'm using the big word if, you didn't have your love for D-Law, or if you didn't have your love for, let me get this call right here, 4112, what you know?
What's good, Big Law?
Nothing much, man. I was going into details of, hey, this team need to learn how to wheel and deal, but nevertheless, man, you live on the radio, man. What's good?
I ain't nothing, man. I'm out here by Pittsburgh, man. I be listening to your show all the time, man.
I really appreciate it.
But I don't know, man. I think these boys just need to go ahead and pay Dak, man. I ain't trying to see them Quincy Carter years no more, man.
What are you saying, man? People got amnesia, man. People forget.
And I really think, man, with the cap, with the way that it's going and everything, like if they go ahead and get the boy paid, they gonna have some free money to pay some players, man.
It's already there. I mean, we sat there on $20 million, $28 million if we were to remove Tyron Crawford, which I thought that he was a very, very valuable piece. But that's still $28 million that you sat on all last year.
Right. And I just think, I mean, get this man a chance under Mike McCarthy, man. Mm-hmm. With Garrett up out of there, if they McCarthy going to utilize Dak to his talents, man. Mm-hmm. I didn't see nowhere near enough running last year. Oh, I mean, that Patriots game and the rain and the terrible weather, if that man would have pulled that ball down and ran a few times, I think we win that game.
Oh, yeah, if you tuck it and run. But in the back part of your mind, when you go running, when you know for sure that all you making is $3 to $4 million.
Exactly.
Where
that's what I mean.
Go from?
Get his boy a little bit of guarantee so he know that he's going to be taken care of, and maybe he want to put his body on the line. I mean, you want him to stick himself out there and play for you, but what you going to do for him?
Yeah, I mean, you got to have something in the back of your mind saying that, hey, I could be the next Ron Shazier. You out there in that area. I mean, the brother could barely walk. And he barely walking now, but man, his wife had to prepare her mind that her husband would never walk again.
I think that's what a lot of fans don't realize too, man. I mean, everybody that's out here saying, "Oh, he's not worth this, he's not worth that," or whatever. Mm-hmm. I've seen the man do nothing but win since he came into the league, and them wasn't no little shoes to fill coming in behind Jerry Jones' son, Tony Romo, man.
And it's hard to put the cherry on the top. It's hard to do it with Jason Garrett.
Right. Man, some of the play calling last year was real upsetting, man. I really don't understand where he was coming from. And you could just tell at certain instances where he kind of took the reins back over from Kellen Moore.
Yeah. I mean, the game plan was totally different,
Right. I think Kellen had a nice creative approach to a lot of stuff, man. We did some things different, and I mean, just hearing some of the guys that come on your show and talk about how the game plan changed up or how conservative Garrett would be, it's just crazy, man. I didn't really see him motivating no men out there, making nobody really want to go hard and play ball.
Yeah, football is always, man, a hard thing to digest, man, as it relates to motivation. You running through a brick wall for your coach. You fighting tooth and nail for your coach. And not just crying, because there were reports out there saying, a lot of players were crying when Jason Garrett left. But I'm from the old school. You cry your butt out there on the field, and you figure out how to stop the run. You figure out how to make that extra play. And I just didn't see that out of this team. I saw some probably said, okay, Jason Garrett is the end-all, be-all for me. But there was others that was like, man, bump this coach, man. Let's get somebody else.
Right. And, I mean, I said with Dak, too, man, this would be one of the first years he had a little bit of consistency. Same receivers, same healthy line, and now he got defense that can stop somebody.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the man put some points up. I've seen him do his thing. But if you got a defense that ain't gonna stop nobody, how you gonna win games, man?
You can't. You can get close, but it'll be no cigar, man. And what else you got for the show? I keep hearing about all these guys talking about signing Clowney or signing Griffin or whatever, but don't you think that we all right, man? We said at the end. I really do believe. I believe that Gregory is going to come back. They're going to reinstate him, and I know he had some time off, and I know Alden had some time off, but it's like I've heard you say a few times. It's riding the bike, man. You don't forget how to do that. Right, it's riding the bike, man, and that shoulder blade, man, they can cut grass better than any weed eater out there, But my thing is with this, I like to see what our guys can do. I would like to see if we go back to training camp or what have you, I can just see with my natural eyes. Now, the other thing is with Jadeveon Clowney, the guy is really living up to his last name, Clowney, because the thing is, he just turned down a deal. I heard, and this is just, speculation for the nation, that it was going to be a lot of money from the Browns. He said, no, I don't want that. And he's turned down. He want 18 to 20 mil a year.
That's crazy. You had four sacks last year?
Three.
That's insane. Yeah, Clowney's crazy, man. I really don't think, because you have a lot of fans and stuff saying we should go out here and sign these guys. Don't pay Dak, but go sign somebody like that. Where's the production at, man?
I mean,
with all the drops our receivers had last year, Dak still threw for almost 5,000 yards.
Hello.
But the man don't get better every year. That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. And I mean, just like you keep saying, I might be a Dak apologist, but I like the kid, man. I like the fact that he leads the team and he come through in adversity, man. Yeah. You just need the rest of the team to rally around him, and I don't think that Garrett was able to motivate them guys to step up when they needed to, because Dak stepped up. I seen the dude progress every year since he's been in the league, man.
But this is the 4,000-pound gorilla right here. The problem is, and I could see from the people that really hate Dak Prescott, I can see where they're coming from. I can see from this angle right here, they want Dak Prescott to play under the franchise tag for 1 year and see what he's going to look like with Mike McCarthy. But the problem is with that is that he done already did his gamble year. His gamble year was last year. That was his gamble year. It's going to be harder for him, and I'm not saying that he threw for near 5,000 yards that he can trump that this year, but what I'm saying is the likelihood of him doing everything immaculate or everything at that particular level is harder on another gambled year. And I'm not saying that he's going to regress or anything, but what I'm saying is from the Dak Prescott angle, is that I done already showed you what I'm able to do. I increased every statistical stat, whatever you want to say, in every category last year, and you want me to do it again?
And the thing is, he's not going to need to this year.
True.
He's not going to need to because, like with the addition to CD, the way that Gallup keeps on developing, hopefully Amari can find his motivation, man. Stop playing scared out there, and he's not going to have to throw the ball all crazy. They spread this offense out, man. Zeke and Pollard going to run wild.
Yeah, my thing is, I don't want to see Dak Prescott throwing attempt 40 times a game or no 35. I think that you can eliminate some of that, spread the wealth. You got Ezekiel, you got Tony Pollard, for crying out loud. Let those two workhorses eat, and let this be a pick your poison type of offense. And I think that we can do that.
I would love to see some more two-back sets, man. I think Pollard and Zeke got to be on that field at the same time, man. Keep that defense guessing.
Yes, indeed, man. What else you have for the show, fam?
That's about it. Like I said, man, listen to you all the time, Lord, man. On my way to work at like 4 a.m, man. You guys are great. It's kind of hard being out here in this area and being a Cowboy fan, man. But I've been one since day one. I grew up, watching the greats in the '90s, and I kind of hope we can get back to that greatness here real soon, man.
That's where we headed.
All right, now keep up the good work, Lord. Give a shout out to Skywalker and Big Game for me too. All right.
Will do, fam. Appreciate you.
All right, Lord. Good talking to you.
Likewise.
This is Sparta!
Man, shout out to Skywalker Steel, Big Game James. Shout out to those dogs, man. I hope, man, Cowboy Nation, that you guys don't look at this thing and say, well, Lord just loved Dak Prescott because he went to Mississippi State and what have you. Shout out to you, 267. What you got?
Hey, what's going on, Law Nation? This is Lord Nova 85. I'm calling from Philly, brother. How you been?
Oh, my goodness. I'm getting all the East Coast callers from over here, man. What's good with you, man?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Just checking out the show, All I have to say is I'm tired of all the Dak hate, man. We need some more Dak love out here. They make it seem like this brother is Trent Dilfer, man.
Right, like, if you listen to him long enough, yeah.
It's like, come on, man. Like the man, he has never had a losing season.
True.
And they say, well, he has to have everything perfect. The four-letter network say he got to have everything perfect.
Right.
How many guys not named Tom Brady can take like a group of let's say not top-tier receivers and make them better? If you alleviate Tom Brady from that discussion, who else has done that? A lot of greats had number ones, like Joe Montana had Jerry Rice.
Mm-hmm. Just keep going. Just go down that list, man. Help people.
You see what I'm saying?
Because when I say it, they just don't listen to half of it, man. But just go, just name me all of the Super Bowls that you can, and just
you got what? Who Terry Bradshaw throw to was that Lynn Swan?
Swan, yeah.
You see, Staubach had the original '88. Like, come on, man, you killing me here.
Mm-hmm.
Like stop. Like they need to kill that with all that noise. Like, even, like, I hate to say this, I got to bring up, can't stand, the filthy.
Yeah.
But even when Donovan McNabb went to his only Super Bowl, he was throwing the ball to T.O.
Yeah.
T.O. was there. He was hurt, but he was there.
Yeah.
So they need to stop with all this Dak-hate out here, Law, man. This is just crazy. It's ridiculous. Pay the man.
Oh, yeah. You got to pay the man.
Yes, pay the man. He earned it. And like they say, we want to see how he looks under Mike McCarthy. Well, we just seen how he looked with Jason Garrett, and he's still working out with John Kitna. All McCarthy's going to do is just elevate him to that next level.
Mm-hmm. I mean, good Lord, he's gonna put him in different stratospheres. Shout out to my dog, One for Each Finger, man. He's out there in Philly land too, I believe. Man, y'all be representing on the East Coast though.
Of course, we are, and it's hard being out here in Philly. Oh my God, Law! I throw on my jersey. I get all this hate. I'm the black sheep of the family, surrounded by a bunch of filthy Eagles fans, and it's just horrible, Law, man.
Yeah, and one thing I can say about those Eagles, they are the most, and they fan base. Not speaking to just one person, but collectively speaking, they are still more fickle than our fan base is, because regardless of how you look at it, you would never turn on anybody's social media platforms and find the burning of Dak Prescott jersey, but you can find multiple clips of them burning Carson Wentz jersey. Now, of course, it's hard to put everybody under the same umbrella, but dog it, if he looks like a duck, he quack like a duck, is a duck, you know. And I just say to all of the Eagles fan bases out there, they are the ones that need to chin check their own fans. They are the ones that need to look at their fans and say, hey, just a couple of weeks ago, you guys were burning his jersey.
Exactly. And you know, I thank them that we lost to them in that game last year.
True.
Because we wouldn't be in the position that we are in right now. And that's where we are in win mode. Like, I love all the off-season moves in the draft. You know, I think they did great all across the board.
Right. Yeah, you just got to put it out there now. Yeah, but go ahead. What you about to say about Clowney?
I was gonna say, Clowney. He need to stop with all that $20 million when he only got like 3 sacks and the man could barely stay on the field.
Right. I was like, man, well, I ain't gonna lie though. You know, if I'm coming across and I gotta ask a bunch of billionaires for some money, you know, was the dude that just got $100 million contract, Joe Rager, I believe. I think the boxing guy, not the boxing guy, but the UFC fighting guy that got a podcast. I know my show is not on that particular level because he bring in so many people, but he just got $100 million. So whenever you ask a bunch of billionaires for some money, I guess you start off with the highest price.
Yeah, I guess so. And see who's gonna pay that. I guess.
Yeah, I think that Clowney, he's going to get signed with somebody team when the actual training camp start, and we know injuries is part of the game. I think Joe Rogan, I'm going to call him Rager for some reason. Joe Rogan is the guy.
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan.
His show's pretty dope too, you know, and I like that he's unfiltered and sort of things and these sort of things. But I think that him and the other guy that's long in the tooth, Griffin. What's his name?
Griffin.
Yeah, Everson Griffin. He want Robert Quinn's money, you know. So some of those price tags got to go down, and I think that once the NFL start, once all of this stuff subside, I think that that's when those guys gonna get those phone calls.
Yeah.
You
know, and I can't wait for this season to kick off. Like, I've been real amped about this season. You know, like I'm in the house and all it is Cowboys. My wife was like, you have the Cowboys on all day. I'm like, you know it. I got to tune in. You know, Law, you know, Big Game, James Skywalker, still the late night hype. I'm on that thing every Tuesday. Whenever you guys are on, I am in there. And the crazy thing is, Law, I drive for a living and I start work so early. Like, by the time the late night hype goes off, I got to get up maybe like in the next 3 hours for work, and it's worth it, man. Like, y'all keep it 100 in there, and I love it.
Yes, indeed. You saw what we was talking to Worley, and we were sitting there like, yeah, man, what you going to do at the top of your route? You know, you going to let this guy just get it free, or you going to rub him a little bit? And we talked to him like, what do you like to play at? He said, man, I want to play aggressive. I want to be up front. I'm going to jam him, press him. And I'm just thinking about this stuff, and I said, yes. You know what I'm saying? Because we looked at Cheeto Awuzie's size, and I love Awuzie. I mean, we like, man, put a little pressure on him. And then the one time that Awuzie did it, he caught the interception against the Saints.
Yeah, he did.
He caught the interception. He did. Now, just to preface my statement, he did try to get aggressive with the other guy, Roby, against that Jets game, and he missed.
Yeah, he did. He missed.
But I tell people this all the time, especially those who play in the game in middle school, in high school, or in college. Let that happen. Because every cornerback got burned before. There's never a cornerback in the state of the United States or anywhere in the world can say, hey, I never got burned. But that confidence level, the confidence level of that particular play, believe it or not, belongs on the safety. Because you can get really grimy and dirty up front if you know your safety was going to be there. And Jeff Heath, I was like, come on, Heath. But that's a story of a different day. But go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro. What else you got?
No, look, like I'm happy, the whole the old regime that's gone, and I've listened to the big game. He's like, that's the old regime. Like, they out of here. Garrett's gone. And I'm like, I'm loving it. Oakland is now, they're the Oakland Cowboys. All those guys, they can stay right over there.
Right.
Like, I can't wait to see what Blake Jarwin going to do, like what he's going to be like in his offense, because he was held back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was held back last year, and I didn't like that at all. He was getting you 15 a pop.
Yeah.
You got Witten in there who's just catching fall for about 3 yards. No.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see how they're going to do this. Maybe, see some more two-back sets like the previous brother who was just talking about how you want to see that. Mm-hmm. And then, like you were saying, let Dak throw it maybe about 20 to 25 times maybe. And let that two-hit monster eat.
Yeah, and I do know the counter argument, like, man, I'm not finna pay no quarterback $35 to $37 million to hand the ball off. No, that's not what we're saying, because think about it. Ezekiel Elliott is a piece within his own self, right?
Yes.
And people say, well, Mike McCarthy, he's a passing guy. Name me one running back that Mike McCarthy had that was in the same room as an Ezekiel Elliott.
He never had an Ezekiel Elliott.
Maybe Ricky, what's his name, Williams, because he did. He was on that coaching staff when they was down there in Saints Land. Maybe you could say that, but outside of that, nobody.
He didn't. And then they kill me with this. Oh, McCarthy had Aaron Rodgers. They made it seem like Aaron Rodgers, like he came out of college, the Aaron Rodgers that he is right now. No, he sat for 3 years. Like, I'm like, where did they get this stuff from? I said, I know, I'm 35, so I know that Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years behind the great Brett Favre. Like, we all know this. So I'm just not getting it. Oh, there was a reason why he was fired from Green Bay. I'm like, Bill Belichick was fired. Andy Reid got fired. And did they not go on and win championships? They did.
Yeah. I got some more callers coming in, though. So what else you got for the show?
No, that was it, man. Lord, man, I've been subscribed now for 2 years. Woo. The show is fire. The show is fire. And, how about them Cowboys, Law?
Man, appreciate them giving you a war call, man. Shout out to you, man, for 2 years, man. Long time.
Yeah.
Yes, D. Salute, bro.
This is Sparta!
Good call, man. Oh, I'm about to cut it down to 4 minutes. My bad, Cowboy Nation. But, man, he brought in some good juice. And, when it's juice, you got to let the man speak. Call back in. I see you calling in. 682-214-4087. I'm going to put the timer on there. You guys know I'm a good old country guy, so when people start calling, it's be like one of those things where I let them speak. 571. What's good?
Hey, what's up, Long? How you doing, bro?
Oh, man, it's your world.
Hey, man, I just want to say I've been listening to your show for the longest. It's dope. And I'm originally from New York. My brother, he's a Jets fan.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin, he's a Giants. And the team that was winning in the 90s, because I'm 32, I was a kid. So, the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so everybody thinks I'm from Texas because my favorite team is the Rockets because Hakeem Olajuwon was my favorite player growing up. But
Olajuwon.
Yeah. I'm going to be the naysayer today. And here's why. I don't want nobody to come at me, oh, man, this guy. And I'm Motivation Theory on YouTube. I've been following your channel for the longest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dislike Dak. I don't. I love him. But it was too many games that I've seen this past year that I'm like, bro, you got to make that throw. You got to make that I remember it was one against the Saints. I think we lost 10-12.
10-12,
I think he missed, was it Cobb or Gallup? Somebody in the back of the end zone. But it's like those key moments, like you have to make them because we need those. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I think it was New England. 13. I think the final score was like 13-9. I'm like, bro, that's 3 field goals. Like, we got to find a way to get in the end zone. You have to find a way to get in the end zone.
Right.
And then it was another game, Philly. We had no business losing to Philly. Me and you was that receiver for Philly that day. Like, no business losing to Philly whatsoever. And I'm like, bro, I mean, it's some games I can blame on the coach. Maybe that Minnesota game where we went back-to-back with Zeke at the end. I'm like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Or the Chicago game where we didn't even come out ready. I give that to the coach. But this league, you know how it is. It's all predicated to the quarterback.
It's a quarterback
winning,
league. Yeah.
You get all. Yeah. If you're winning, they give you all the praise. If you're losing, you're gonna get hell to pay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what they're seeing, I like Dak. I think he's gonna get better. But sometimes I'm like, I'm scratching my head. Like, is he really that dude? Because that's what I think.
But let me ask you this, and I got to pull it out just for some objectivity on the call, and I love the fact that you pointed out those particular games, the Philadelphia Eagles game. Hey, Sean, call back, man. Just give me a few seconds, Sean, and I see Sean calling in. My thing is with this particular situation with Dak Prescott, that Saints game. Yeah. I know that those type of situations happen to a lot of teams. The fumble with Jason Witten, that we will say, hey, that's just part of the game. Good play by the defense. The fumble with Ezekiel Elliott, elbow imprinted into the ground, and then Roger Goodell, maybe whoever that's up there in New York said, no, it was a fumble. Elbow wasn't down. Ball started coming out before whatever they come up with that. And I know I sound just like an apologist. I'm sitting there like, hey, man, you making up all of these excuses because at the end of the day, who had the most points is what matters, right? And the two pass interference calls and a missed field goal, all of those things in that particular game was a contribute to reasons why Dak Prescott lost that game. I will say this, though. The Philadelphia Eagles game, could Dak play it a little bit better? Yes. I will say the Eagles won fair and square. Nevertheless, the first touchdown that was given up was Jordan Hip Pocket Lewis on Dallas Goedert. Wouldn't you, if you was Carson Wentz, or even if you was the quarterback for the Eagles, wouldn't you go with that? Would you go with that mismatch right there?
Oh, I mean,
that was the difference maker, majority of the game almost. And when we finally got into the red zone, money zone, green zone, Ezekiel Elliott tapped his helmet. He got out. They put the young kid, Tony Pollard. I love him, but they run a sweep play to the weak side, and he fumbles the ball. And they're in their side of the 20. He fumbled the ball. Those were two pivotal moments. Xavier Woods playing volleyball that day. Carson Wentz gave him the ball for a pick six, said, hey, here you go, and Xavier Woods, the ball right in his hands. And he said, like, let's play volleyball with it. I don't want this ball, hot potato. Robert Quinn, if you look back at the game, in the fourth quarter, had a chance, strip sack or what have you, knocked the ball out of Carson Wentz's hand, fumbled the ball, and they sitting there looking at it like, oh, who want to jump on this ball? Carson Wentz said, okay, I do. I came to play. And that was on our side of the field. So if all of those, if those three situations did not occur, Cowboys beat the Eagles, and I know the Eagles fans are going to be like, nah, dog, we will still find a way to win. Or if the Cowboys beat the Vikings, or if the Cowboys beat the Saints, we would still have Jason Garrett to this day. What would you feel about this? Or do you think that?
No. Don't get me wrong. I did not want him. No. It was a blessing. It was a blessing in disguise.
Right.
Because I know I went on a rant. I'm like, yo, Dallas, go ahead and just lose the rest of these games so we can get rid of Garrett. So I'm with you.
But let me ask you this: if we win those games, would your view of Dak Prescott be different? Would you look at it and say, okay, give him the $40 million, give him 45? Because what would our record would be if we beat the Minnesota, if we beat the Saints, if we beat the Eagles?
We would have finished 10-6.
10-6.
I think we would have finished 10-6.
Would you be like, okay, give him 40, give him 45? Would you say that? It would be kind of hard because then you would look at it and say, hey, would it be 3 times out of the last 4 years the Cowboys made it to the playoff?
We made it the first year, 13-3. The second year we didn't make it. The third year we
it'd have been 3 times out of 4 years he made it to the playoff. And then on top of that, Jerry would be like, man, my son in the last 4 years, 3 times he made it to the playoff. We can go fire everybody on the defensive side, but my son,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
and
how
I
it
think
goes,
a lot of people,
man.
we don't. And again, I don't dislike Dak. I like him. I think he's gonna get better. But a lot of fingers don't get pointed towards the defense because the defense be wetting the bed a lot.
Yeah, defense wins championships, and look, it's hard to beat a team with a good running game and good defense. I'm a firm believer. I know a lot of people love the ball that's been thrown in the air, but if you can run the ball good and play good defense, boy, you can go a long way.
Oh,
if you think I'm lying, the 49ers went all the way to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. There was, one game he only threw 6 passes.
6 passes.
Hey, all 3 you running backs, y'all running.
Yeah.
Well, I'm with you. And I do want that to get – look, I just read up in the Navy for 6 years. So, trust me, I wasn't going to do it for 1 year. I got a family to feed. So, I understand. Get that man his money. But this 45, 50 million talk, I'm like, bro, you're not Mahomes. Hold on now. Hold on. And everybody want to talk about, Mahomes got weapons. Well, thank the GM and Andy Reid. That's their job. They went and got the key players for his quarterback. You can't hate on that.
I definitely can't hate on that. And Mahomes got there after Tyreek Hill and after what you call that guy, Travis Kelce. So,
Travis Kelce, yeah. He said 1 year behind Alex Smith.
Yeah. What else you got for the show?
Oh man, I just want to say I love the show. I don't know how you came up on my YouTube channel, but I was like, yo, this dude is dope. So I've been following you ever since then. And then, one more thing. I'm calling from Maryland. I'm stationed in Maryland. I'm about to go out to San Diego, me and my family, because I said I'd read up 6 more years in the Navy. So
wow.
And also, hey, one question before I leave. Where did you get that little music at the beginning, bro? I love that music. It's that little
yeah.
I'm like, yo, I kept messaging. I'm like, yo, where is that? Is that on iTunes? I need that.
You talking about that right here. All right, so that music was sent to me, and the guy that sent it to me, he literally said, unknown artist. And I'm not trying to, but feel free, if you can catch a piece of it, if you want to download it yourself, feel free to use it, man. It's free music for anyone. And then all of my other soundtracks, I get it from Epidemic Sounds or,
Okay.
That's where I get all of my tracks from or what have you.
Oh, man, I love that music, man. I'm like, yo, that's on this fire.
Really appreciate you, fam. Really appreciate you.
Hey, appreciate you, man.
Thank you for calling in for some objectivity.
Hey, no problem.
Salute, bro.
Oh, no problem. Word.
Yeah.
This is Sparta!
Yes, Wade, you're now Wade, call in. Wade, call back, man. Wade, I see you calling in. I hope that's your name. That's what my caller ID says. So 682-214-40-469. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, Lawman? I've been calling you and hey, you been having people on, but hey, man, I've been listening to you for about 2 years now. And this is my first time, reaching out to you.
Man, really appreciate
the show, man. I put there in the fire show. Me and my boys, I always check you out.
But
check this out, man. Me and my homie, we've been arguing for the last probably 12 years over the Cowboys, probably since Romo took over real good up until now, and we gonna argue because I always was on the mindset of the Cowboys really don't know what to do when it comes to the quarterback position. I mean, since I was in the 8th grade, I watched us go through pitchers, Ryan Leaf, Quincy Carter. We traded 2 first-round picks for Joey Galloway, knowing we needed a quarterback. And we went out looking for pitchers saying, we don't need those picks. We'll just draft a pitcher, or we'll turn this guy into something and we'll turn that guy into something. And not knowing, you turned into 5-11 3 years in a row. Right. We had 1 Pro Bowl. Larry Allen was the only player we had in the early 2000s. Now, fast forward to now, we're still doing the same thing as far as the quarterback position. How do we get so stuck up to where we're going to ask a guy, oh, no, you're not worth this. You know, like we've been scouting the quarterback position great, you know, for the past 20 years. Only thing we've drafted is Stephen McGee, and we don't have nothing to show for it. Like, we don't have a quarterback worth a Dan and Yoga commercial. We haven't even had a quarterback. Jerry talking about, you know, be grateful for being a Cowboy quarterback. John Kidner was a quarterback. Cal Orton was a quarterback. Castle and Brandon Wheaton, who throws a beautiful deep ball. I remember Jerry told us all that. So if it's that easy, Jerry didn't go out and find you one. But you know he knows it's not that easy. But that's why he does this. And so sign him up and wrap your arms around it. It took you 11 games in a row for the first year, and he still never fully wrapped his arms around Dak. I really don't think that Dak is his. I think he feels like he can find something better, or find something more marketable, or find something that can, you know, be of a more exciting player. I think that's really because the Cowboys they're brand driven.
You watch, and I always love to do movie reference or TV show reference. You ever watch Law and Order?
No, I don't. I don't watch nothing but sports, man.
You watch nothing but sports? Well, I just had to tell people this. Or have you ever heard of like serial killers, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they get to start killing and they do some horrendous stuff, but over a period of time they become sloppy with it. And what happened here is sometimes your success can be your failure, meaning that Super Bowl that was won with Barry Switzer, Jerry's success became his failure because he all of a sudden, I'm not calling Jerry Wayne a serial killer. I don't want people to take my words lightly on that or get confused. But what I'm trying to say is he became sloppy in a sense, or he became, oh, this is something that I've done, you know. From a biblical aspect, he became like Nebuchadnezzar, you know. He stood upon a big providence, and he looked over and said, this is what I've done. And the scripture contextualized it, and they turned him into a beast that grew fangs and had to live out in the wilderness, in the woods. Jerry Wayne Jones, when he pretty much reached out to Barry Switzer and they won the Super Bowl, was his biggest downfall because he began to say to himself, this is what I've done. This is what I'm able to do without Jimmy Johnson. But the people reminded him and said, you know what? You didn't do this. And he's like, whoa, come again? You didn't do this. Those people that won the Super Bowl, those players, I meant to say, that won the Super Bowl were still Jimmy Johnsons, you know. So that's when he went through that spell of hiring all of his buddies. And the first person that allowed him to look at it from a different angle was Bill Parcells. The investors in the area were saying, we're not going to give you this stadium.
The money for that stadium, exactly. And I've argued that
for those
all
people,
the time. I'm crazy for arguing
He didn't want to hire no Bill Parcells.
Exactly. He needed Bill Parcells to get back to, he knew Parcells could make this team at worst a playoff team.
Yeah, and the investors to be comfortable. Worst. Yeah.
So that's what he needed. We wasn't getting marketed. You going 5-11, and your game is on at noon when people still at church. That ain't what Jerry wants. He want those flex games. He want those games to be taking advantage of those flex slots. And so he knows that we need the quarterback position. But so I know he's going to pay it. I don't like the fact that I got to have fist fights at work every day because everybody's telling me that Dak Prescott isn't worth it. And I'm like, dude, Jason Garrett wasn't worth that money for 10 years. But we wrapped our arms around him. We knew Dak Prescott was playing. Jason Garrett spoiled probably real life 2 or 3 good Super Bowl teams.
You
got the chance to do that. Yes, man. I'm sitting here looking at this. He wasted. I know 13 we was real good. 14, I know we was a Super Bowl team. And 16, I know it was a Super Bowl team. And Jason Garrett, because he's this golden son, you know, and So like you said, going back to that Barry Switzer situation, Jerry thinks that, you know, whoever I sprinkle my Jerry juice upon, you know, they'll come win it. Like, that ain't Jerry, that ain't how it go, man. It's 53 players out there working, and they got to be a well-oiled machine.
Mm-hmm. Let me sprinkle this on your mental too. Let me sprinkle this on your mental. We are living in shambles, right? We are living in the fact that, man, this is purgatory, neither heaven nor hell with this situation.
Right.
But Jerry, within the last 25 years, calculate this right quick. Within the last 25 years, he gets a $3.2 billion stadium build in his name, right? On top of that, they get a workout facility, $2.5 billion with a B. On top of that, this is him. Alt revenue is at an all-time high. To put the cherry on the top, he's inducted to the Hall of Fame before the person that won the Super Bowl that coached the game. Look, let me repeat. He inducted to the Hall of Fame before the person that coached the game, Jimmy Johnson. And on top of that, if you really look at it, the TV deals and everything from A to Z. We've been talking about, hey man, we in shambles. Cowboy Nation, we've been fighting a good fight. But Jerry, he done got him a yacht to add to the spices of that. And he got a Jerry helicopter. All of these things. We might be living in poverty, but Jerry looking at it like, man, they can talk whatever they want to talk, but my philosophy, my way, they got me a chopper, they got me a yacht, they got me 2 stadiums built, basically, because the Star in Frisco, you might as well call that a stadium, and all in my name. And I'm in the Hall of Fame. Woo!
It hurt. Hey, I just want to leave with this one right here, though. Like this, and all that you just said about how you know, the network of the team went up, Jerry. Since 2009, I still got my keychain. Every time I get a new key set, I move my keychain. I ain't spent a dime with Jerry Jones.
Wow.
I so bad want to go to a game, man. Those Dak jerseys look so good. My last thing I bought was a Cowboy keychain and a T.O. jersey.
Wow.
It was probably 11, 12 years ago, man. And they hurt it. People, I've been called fake fan. I done been called, but personally, to me, just personally, I can't give my money. I can't give my money to it, man.
I know.
Like, right? I be saying, your gear is tight. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody, I see everybody, you know what I'm saying? With that shit look good, dog.
Yeah.
I want to go out and I want to, but I can't. Not when you gonna pay Jason Garrett with it, or you gonna drop a yacht on me. You know what I'm saying? You gonna drop a yacht on me. I just want to go to an NFC Super. That's what I always say. NFC Championship game. Just get in it. That's all I ever said. That's all I ever said. And if it can't deliver that, man, I can't spend a dime, dog.
I feel you, fam. But somebody spent it. And look, just to put cherry on that before you go, it's $150 just to park.
Man.
Just to park to get into the game. If you don't want to do all that walk action, it's $100. And this is Walmart parking lot. $150. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm gonna park somewhere else. I'm gonna Uber in. You know what I mean? But all right, fam. I really appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Keep it up, man. I'm gonna listen to you all the time, dog.
Salute.
This is Sparta!
Antoine, man. I saw you call. Antoine, call back, man. Call back, man. The line is open now. Oh, my goodness, man. He spoke nothing but the truth, and he spoke on things that we are going through, you know, as it relates to this team, collectively speaking. JJ just loved the hype. This is from my girl Jessica. Really appreciate you. Dak is our quarterback. Yes, Jessica. Really appreciate you, man. We got 847. What's good?
Hello?
Yeah, you're live on the Nation. Talk to me, man.
D-Law, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Good, D-Law. My name is Joe. I'm calling from Illinois. I'm a huge Cowboys fan, D-Law. Okay, I got a Dak jersey. I got a Zeke jersey. I'm a big Cowboys fan. But with this Dak situation, first of all, let me ask you a question. You think it'll get done before July 15th?
I think it would.
Okay. What's going to be the outcome? I mean, what's it going to be? 4 years, 5 years? What's it going to be?
I think it's going to be a $37 million. I think that they're going to meet right at that market of 4 years.
What's the guarantee?
37.
What's the guaranteed?
from a better man by 110 to 115 mil.
Okay, here's what I think. I think they're going to go Dak way, 4 years, 110 million, fully guaranteed. He'll be on par with Jared Goff, and that's what he. But the thing is, Odilo, that's what he wants. I mean, if the Cowboys come that way, I think that's the latest offer on the table now. A 5-year, 110 fully guaranteed. Now Dak's team, if they go 4 years, boom, he'll sign it tomorrow. What's the big deal? What's the big deal, Jerry Jones? I mean. But could you imagine if this was Andy Dalton asking for this much money? I wonder what the Dak haters would say, D-Law. Well, sign him, since they're drooling and salivating over their golden boy. Seriously, what if this was Andy Dalton asking for that much money? Would they call him greedy? No. No. I mean, really? Come on. This is ridiculous. I'm a Dak fan. But yeah, and let's not forget, this is the Dallas Cowboys, D-Law. They love the publicity. Remember Zeke? Well, Zeke who? We got Tony Pollard. We're not gonna reset the running back market. We're not gonna make him the highest paid running back. What happened, D-Law?
Well, they did it, and this is another thing, right quick.
Sure.
We wouldn't be talking about Cowboys right now if we went on ahead and paid Dak Prescott. We wouldn't be talking about this.
Exactly.
So it's bringing it in, drawing up numbers, and it would not entice people to go out there and purchase a Andy Dalton jersey. So I think people are already purchasing Andy Dalton jersey. So that's all revenues at all types of different angles.
But they love to be in the news, D-Law. Again, remember the DeMarcus Lawrence issue? Well, we're not going to pay him. What ended up happening? They paid him. I mean, they love being in the news. Remember the Des Bryant fiasco several years back? There were words exchanged. They did it right on the deadline. What happened?
They paid
him. I mean, they love being in the news. But everybody says, well, real quick, Dak sucked because he went 8-8. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Tony Romo went 8-8 for 3 years in a row when he got paid. Thanks, D-Law. Have a good day, my friend.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for calling in. Salute.
This is Sparta!
Yeah, I love my nickname, D-Law. But I was thinking that he was talking about T-H-E, D-Law. You know what I'm saying? Not D-Law, as in the D-Law that played for this team. He was talking about T-H-E. Law. That's how I looked at it. Did you guys look at it in the same way? Because he brought in some good points. Basically, he was saying that they're going to pay Dak Prescott. It's just that waiting game. That waiting game, boy. Woo, that waiting game is crazy, Yeah, the D for dominant. Yeah, appreciate it. 512. It's you. What's good?
Hey, Law. This is the last caller that just called, he was right on point with that. I just wanted to kind of back up what he was just saying. I also watch another blogger named Tom Downey. He does a Chat Sports, Dallas Cowboy News. And last week he actually put up the details from what Dak is asking for and the offer from the Cowboys. And they're pretty much, they had an agreement. The man just said, he just wants a 4-year contract. And everybody keeps talking about how he wants all this extra money, even like Skip Bayless. It's just, he wants over $40 million a year, and it's just all fake news. And it's come out. They've already confirmed that it was fake news spoken by Chris Sims. And I don't understand why people just keep saying he's asking for all this money, and he's not.
Because people believe Skip Bayless, Shay Sharp, Stephen A. Smith more than us. Big Game James Skywalker, Voch Lombardi, or anybody else that speak Cowboys. They will believe them because they got the validation, because they got the blue check marks. And that's just how it goes. But I tell a lot of people, validation is good, but it's only good for parking. And people like to park on what they have to say, opposed to going out there and watching the tape and going out there and listening to those that's really out here. Now, Skip Bayless, hey, it's a stick. I think that he got to try to sell up and build up revenue for his particular organization that he works for. But when we look at it, you're speaking the truth. It's not what they're asking for, and it's not what the general population think. And I think that Dak Prescott is not a guy that's going to want and be greedy. It's more so to do with everything as it relates to business, and that's just how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, and look, based on what over the few years that we've gotten to get to know Dak Prescott as a man, as a kid, he just don't seem like that type to me. Mm-hmm. Like, he seemed like a humble, smart kid. Like he grew up. His mama was a Cowboy fan. I don't think he's just that type of person to just be going way over the top asking for that kind of money. I think it's at the end of the day, it's a negotiation. He's going. His agent is going to have him get as much as he can, but not be greedy. And if you look at the facts are he's got a psych major. The kid is a smart kid, and he wants to go back to get his doctorate when his football career is over. So I wouldn't want anybody else. I mean, that's intelligence, and that just shows what kind of character he has. And that's the kind of person I want leading my team.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That's the guy that you want to lead your team. That's the guy that you want to be able to say, okay, I would rather have him fighting for me opposed to Dak Prescott going to another team fighting for them. And the low-hanging fruit would be, well, look at the was it not Carson Wentz, Kirk Cousins. You remember they were saying that he played on the franchise tag for 2 years in a row?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask you this. What did the Washington team do since they let Kirk Cousins go? How they been doing,
Yeah, I mean,
how they been doing?
Well, Mark Holmes calls them a dumpster fire. They kind of been that for quite a while, And actually, watching Mark Holmes and the Joe Goose Sports Report is how I got turned on to your channel, Law.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. It's been a few years. I actually been watching you guys for a while, man. I learned, and we just my appreciation to you guys, because there's a lot about there's more to this sport and to this team than what we see on the field, and you guys give us an opportunity to get that extra knowledge and just, the field breakdown between Voch Lombardi, and just the things that you're doing with Skywalker Steele and Big Game James, and giving us an opportunity to feel like, like right now, me talking to you feel like I'm part of the team now, so.
You are, because think about this. We wouldn't have this type of flow without you all. Think about it. Next week, we're going to have George Teague, Patrick Creighton. You see, on top of that, we will have Cedric Wilson, so that those three guys alone can give us some, I guess, information that we don't have to make the speculations on. They can identify real talk with us,
Man, it's just awesome to be able to just watch and listen to these guys talk. It just makes it more of a, it's like going to a small church compared to a big church. It just makes you feel like more of a family.
Right.
And I really appreciate that, man. That just, I grew up there in Dallas. I live in Austin now, but I've never ever been to a Cowboy game. I remember as a kid going to field trips to Texas Stadium. I met Randy White once as a kid. They're working out during the off season, but just hearing you guys bringing the players on and having these conversations like y'all did with Darren Woodson, I thought that was great. That was y'all seem like y'all been friends forever. Just having the conversation. He's a good dude, and man, I'm just so excited to be talking to you right now.
Oh yeah, man! And just continue to support this thing, man. We got people that support these channels and support all of the underground Cowboys talk, and I really appreciate everybody, man, for adding their feedback. And we're not like not open to feedback. We always want to open to feedback. You see, now some people be like ESPN, they don't reach back to the people, right? NFL Network, they don't reach back to the people, but we do.
Never.
And look at our comments on the screen there, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And think about it. When we get Dez Bryant on the show, because he said he's thinking about it, Cowboy Nation. Yeah, I said it. Dez Bryant. So that means that he at least watching the show. So he's thinking about it and saying, okay, I need to jump on the late night hype so that it would not be cut up into so many segments and Dez Bryant is miscued or misheard or missaid about certain things, you know what I'm saying, that he say. And when Dez Bryant do come on the show, we will allow him to speak his mind. We will ask him the hard questions. We will ask him what he went through as it relates to playing under the Jason Garrett administration. It won't be that watered down conversation for the nation. It'll be the real, raw, uncut, unfiltered, live like 95 talk, you know?
Live like 95. I like it when y'all say that.
Yes, indeed, baby.
Right on, man. It's been a pleasure talking to you, man. And I just I just had to get in there and back up with the caller before me just said about, just we got to stop listening to all the fake news that's out there, man. It's just because someone says it, people just run away with that information, and they don't. Like I said, that chat sports with Tom Downey, he just a week or so ago, he put up the details. I mean, I don't know if anyone else has done it, but the details to the offers from the Cowboy side and what Dak is asking for, and there's, it looks so like for the first year, they're offering $27 million, and Dak's asking for $29.
Right.
And it's just like that for 5 years. But the only thing is Dak just wants a 4-year contract, just like every other quarterback is getting right now.
Yeah.
Just like everyone else. Why he got to be different? And so it's it's a lot different than what people out there saying.
Yes, indeed, man. Good stuff, man. Appreciate you for calling in.
All right, thank you, sir.
Salute.
This is Sparta!
I like Tom Downey and Chat Sports, man. Great show. 843. I know who this is. What's up, man? You're live on the Nation.
So what's up,
Antoine, man? What's good with you, man?
Man, chilling.
Talk to me, man. How you feel about everything? I know you're like, man, they gonna have Dez on the show, bro.
I gotta get on with that.
We still in negotiation part of it, and hopefully he'll jump on and we'll get things going, and these sort of things. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, my thoughts on this thing, man. You know how I feel about Dak, whatever. But I think we need to go ahead and pay him, man, because we need to. Just stick with what we know best, man. Every other team got their quarterbacks, and they play how they play. And Dak is good for our team, man. We don't need to be trying to be like everybody else.
Yeah.
Because we can't do that. We got a great offensive line. We got a great running back, great wide receiver. Let us pay him his money. Let's run it. Let's see if we win a Super Bowl. This drawn out too long, man. Too long.
It is. It makes people angry. It makes people upset. It get people to talk ill will of our team, and people not on the same page. People not unified, and I hate that split like the Great Divide. It's just not a good feel for us, man.
It's aggravating now. Like y'all, we could be the Redskins right now with a freaking broke up offensive line, a new player in every game. We could be like them, but we got to go to quarterback that can stay healthy. I mean, let's just go ahead and pay him his money, man. I'm just tired of it now.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Hey, you remember that feeling like last year during that time, like everything we was talking to ourselves, like, man, it's got a good vibe, good feel. Man, why don't they just go ahead and pay Ezekiel Elliott so we can get this thing over with?
Exactly.
And they continue to push this thing all the way through training camp, right? And what they fail to realize is that, yes, football is a business, but it's a family business as well. So when they kept asking the players, hey, man, how do you feel about Ezekiel Elliott contract? How you feel about Ezekiel Elliott contract? All of the players said, man, I can't talk on a man about his money. But what it did to those guys like the Mike Weebers and the Tony Pollards and all those other guys that's sweating out there in Oxnard was like, man, what am I running for? Why do I really need to pick up this offense and earn an extra day or learning something when all they going to do is going to go ahead and pay Ezekiel Elliott, or they saying that we are nothing without him, and all of that stuff trickles down, and people fail to realize that these people eat together, they go out and watch stuff like movies together, and they are family. But when you start selling and denigrating and splitting apart, people saying that he's not worth this, and all we known since 2016, just like we said, Dak Prescott never had a losing season, as well as Ezekiel Elliott. He never had a losing season.
We win. That's all that matters. We freaking winning.
Right.
And this other notion, everybody talk about Mahomes, this Mahomes, that. Man, if you really look at it, dog, Mahomes ain't really that good, bro. He had his good coaching, and he got speedy receivers that can get open.
Oh my goodness!
Like you put him, look at the Super Bowl. He didn't play good at Super Bowl. The running back carried that team in the defense. So what's somebody gonna say? Mahomes won the Super Bowl or the Chiefs?
5 years from now, they 5 to 10 years from now, they would never know their running back that played football for the Kansas City Chiefs. They won't know about the interception that occurred. Chris Jones batting down those balls, them creating pressure, causes Jimmy to not go to the progressions and hit Emmanuel Sanders that was wide, the world open. They'll forget all about that, and the only thing that will remain there is Pat Mahomes and the coach. What's his name again? What was his name? Tip of my tongue. Andy Reid.
Andy Reid.
Guess what? Eric Bieniemy name is disappearing as we speak.
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy was a crucial part of making sure that the offense is freaked the way it was freaking.
Yeah, we just got to be grateful for what we got, man. We can't be like every other team trying to get a quarterback like everybody else. If it was that easy, everybody have Patrick Mahomes that can run around. That don't mean he's great because he can run. That don't mean he's great because he can run.
Yes, indeed. Man, I'm going to make you the last caller of the day, man. I got some things to do with my daughter. But hold on right quick before I flip that switch on this thing right here, man. But I always appreciate you for calling in because you always leave, the objectivity out there. You're not all on one side of the argument, or the debate. And you keep everything fair and centered, and you follow all of the platforms. And when you reached out to me, fam, and said that, hey, you grinding now on your own business, and I was a part of that, man, people fail to realize that is what this show need to be about, helping one of another to look at life differently and go out there on a limb to go forward with their dreams, hope, love, and adulations for the nation. Baby, I'm telling you, man, that did something to me, fam.
I appreciate it, man. You have a good one, man.
You as well, man. Appreciate you.
All right, Bubba.
Salute. Give that man a war call, man. That's my dog, man.
This is Sparta!
Yeah, people, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in to the nation, man. I can't say this enough. We're grinding. We're doing things the right way, the best way. And one day at a time, one movement at a time, brick by brick. I'm just going to go over those who made the support to the channel as it relates to donation to help grow the nation, as well as those who subscribed and shared this information, man. I really appreciate you all. I can't say this enough. LOVE. Everybody. Especially when you represent that silver and blue and staying true. And we don't fold up like lawn chairs, right? 2 hours straight with no commercial break. Shout out to Nicholas Mims. Appreciate you for making the donation. Skeptical fan. Mr. Wright, man, thank you for dropping $19.99 for your mind. Just dropped another $1.99. Appreciate you. Coach D. Appreciate you, man, for dropping $5 in the super chat. ASMODEUS, man. Asmodeus, I think that's how you say your name. Thank you for dropping $10. I am Sheepdog 45. What you know about Coke 45? Shout out to you, man, for dropping $9.99 for your mind, man. Really appreciate you. Nicholas Mims, thank you for making the donation to help grow the nation. Charles, thank you for becoming a member. Derek, thank you for becoming a member. Skeptical fan, thank you as well. I really appreciate all of you guys' love and adulations for the nation. Don't forget about this too. For those who join the membership, we will have behind the scenes of Daryl World League, and we have behind the scene of LK, Luther Kirk. The other day I messed over his name. I was about to call him Luther Christian, and everybody like, hey, it's Luther Kirk. And we got some good things that's going to be around the corner. We're going to have the legacy I'm talking about the Legacy Cowboy Hour, brought to you by Cowboys Experience. That where we go out there and we bring some of the old schools in, like the Tony Tolberts of the world, to come jump on the show. Oh my goodness, some of the old guys. We're working on an Emmitt Smith. We're working on a Michael Irvin to come to the show. And man, I'm always with this belief, thou shalt decree a thing and it shall be established. So we speaking these things out there to an existence so that we can get these guys out there, man. I really appreciate everybody, man. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content, let a friend, neighbor, foe know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboy Sports Talk and Beyond. Shout out to Tim, Calhoun, Chris over there, Joyce on the Facebook, Kenny, was it Kenny? Shout out to you, Spurls, Jessica, Brandon, what's your name over here? Salad, shout out to you, Lance Bell. Not related to the other Bell that was on this team. Let me know if you are. Jesse Perez, man, really appreciate you. And who else we have over here? Shout out time for your mind. Oh, I forgot to say this. Put down where you guys are from. That's always a major thing for me, knowing that I'm from Natchez, Mississippi. And shout out to the HBCU, D. Jackson State University, the greatest HBCU university in the world, right? Shout out to those, man, from Jackson, Mississippi, Jacktown, get down. And shout out to Incognito Revive. Really appreciate you. Noah, appreciate you. Rodney Ellis, appreciate you, man. Just a big loser. Appreciate you, but you're a big winner in my heart. Cowboys fan 19 of 73. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to you. I got one more minute. Give me some fire emojis, baby. Let me get some fire emojis, man. I got a couple more minutes before I go. get up out of here, man. Let me see those fire emojis out there. Y'all know I got to have some fire and desire for your mind. Let's go. Turn my beat up a little bit more. Hey. Yeah. Y'all know it. I want to leave you guys with this saying. When you up against your struggles, meet it squarely face to face. Lift your chin, set your shoulders, plant your feet, and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do, nation. Hold your head high, eyes through the finish. See this thing through. That's the quick version of it. Man, I appreciate everybody, man. Floyd with the $10 holla. That's my dog, Floyd. Yeah. Yeah. Right. I see the fire emojis. There we go, baby. Here we go. We out, baby. Stay safe, be safe. Yes, let's go. Oh, I forgot to say, and remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. Peace.